In today's video, we are going to talk about cabinet colors that are not white. So if you are in the market for a cabinet color that has a little bit more warmth, a little bit more pizzazz, maybe you want even a blue or a green tone, this video is for you. Now, before I get many comments, yes, white cabinets are always going to be timeless. They're always going to be classic. It's never a bad decision. So if you are set on your white cabinets, I say go for it. However, many homeowners really want something with a little bit more warmth, a little bit more color on the walls. It kind of seems like the farmhouse trend of all white and black, everything is kind of packing its bags and heading out. And it's time to bring those warmer grays and beiges in and kind of warm up your space. So stick around for some of my favorite non-white cabinet colors. Hi everyone, I'm Ashley with the blog homelikeyoumeanit.com. I'm a virtual paint color consultant and a decorator, and my job is to help you design a home you love. So let's get into today's video. So it does seem like if you are planning a new build or a renovation right now, a lot of people are pinning images that look something like this. This is a Studio McGee kitchen, a lot of the Jean Stouffer kitchens that are warm and luxurious. Those are really popular right now, and that's because everyone is loving these warmer tones on their kitchen cabinetry to pair with their softer white walls. So just remember, warm neutrals is the name of the game in 2024, and people are also having some fun with some blues and greens. I do want you to pay attention to the neutral color family I call out and then the undertone. And that's because when you are working with neutral colors, they're very hard to get right because you need to make sure that they relate to your fixed elements and finishes. So in a kitchen, your cabinetry color should look like it's perfectly aligned with your backsplash and your countertop. And then most likely your kitchen is going to open up into a living room, a dining room. So you need to make sure all of those elements are talking together and everything coordinates nicely. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, kind of show you a little hands-on what I would do in terms of testing colors, but that's just a little FYI for you. The first color that I have for you is Sherwin-Williams Accessible Beige. I'm sure you've heard of this color. This is nothing new or groundbreaking. However, most people were putting this on their walls for the last decade. Now people are putting this on cabinetry, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Accessible beige is a little bit darker than a lot of neutrals on this list, and sometimes it can be a little iffy on walls because if you don't have a lot of natural light, it goes a little muddy. However, on cabinetry, it is so stunning, especially paired with those warm quartzes or other warm countertops. It's really gorgeous. It's a grayish with a green undertone, which is fairly easy to work with, but that doesn't mean you can completely ignore the rest of the fixed elements in your kitchen. Now, Benjamin Moore Natural Cream is my next choice. It's also a grayish with a green undertone, so again, fairly easy to work with, but you can't ignore your fixed elements or your finishes. And it's lighter. It's got an LRV of 64 compared to Accessible Beige. It has an LRV of 58. So if you're worried about natural light in your kitchen and you really want that beautiful creamy beige color to come through, Natural Cream is a color to sample. If you are planning a renovation or remodel, you have likely pinned this kitchen. It has been so popular. I love it. It's one of Studio McGee's projects. The cabinetry color is called Baby Fawn, which is the same thing as Benjamin Moore Edgecombe Gray. So if you're wondering, I've never heard of Baby Fawn, it's because it's Edgecombe Gray. Now, Edgecombe Gray I really like. It's supposed to be kind of like the same equivalent to Sherwin-Williams Accessible Beige. It's a grayish with a green undertone, but it's a little bit lighter. It's got an LRV of 65, so it's not quite as dark and moody as Accessible Beige, but oh wow, is it stunning on cabinetry. We've wrapped up our grayish category. Now we're gonna move into beiges. If you have been scrolling on Pinterest or saving images from magazines, you know that beige is majorly in right now. These beiges that are in are nothing like the beiges from the 90s, so don't worry that you're gonna put something on your cabinets that is gonna trend out in the next 10 years. Yes, trends will always come and go. However, if you choose fixed elements that are timeless and cabinetry colors that are timeless and pale and neutral, you really don't have to worry about that. Now, with beiges, you do have to be careful, just like with any other neutral color. You need to pay attention to the undertones, and beiges are really not very forgiving. They're a little bit harder to work with, I think, than grays. So with beige, you're dealing with pink, green, orange, or yellow in terms of undertones. All beiges have them. It's very difficult to see them when you just go get one sample. You really won't see the undertones until you start comparing them with other colors, or you might put them against a warm cabinetry or a warm countertop rather, and realize something looks off, and that's likely because the undertones aren't really harmonious. They're not really working well together. So that's why you have to be aware of the undertones, and you want those to relate to your fixed elements. The first choice I have for you is Sherwin-Williams Divine White. It's a really pale, it's got an LRV of 72, so very pale. It's not a white. That's why you can never go with paint names. It's like they're trying to purposely throw you off. It's not a white, it's a beige with a pink undertone. Now, with a lot of neutral colors, you're really not gonna notice that undertone if you pair it correctly with your fixed elements. When you don't consider your fixed elements, when you're choosing a cabinet color or a wall color, that's when that undertone really rears its ugly head, and that's when you call me and say, I can't stand my paint color, help. So Divine White has a pink undertone. If you look at this kitchen, I think she did a beautiful job. The only point that I will say is that when you are working with those warmer colors, don't pair them with true white tiles or countertops. It's just a little bit too stark. Now, a lot of people make this mistake. It's not something that you have to rip out. You can warm it up with accessories. Another very pale beige that's really creamy, and it kind of straddles the line, just like with Divine White, between cream and beige, is Sherwin-Williams Soji White. Soji White is gorgeous on cabinetry. It's a little bit more easy to work with than Divine White because it's a beige that has a green undertone, and those green undertones are much easier to work with. Now, they're not foolproof, so don't go out and pair it with whatever, but if you want a warm beige tone, this is one to start with in terms of sampling paint colors. Benjamin Moore Ballet White is the last beige that I have for you on this list. It's very similar to Soji White. It kind of straddles that line between cream and beige. It's a little bit darker than Soji White, a little bit more body to it. It's got that green undertone that's fairly easy to work with, but it is absolutely stunning on cabinet. So I've got one taupe for you on this list, and that is Benjamin Moore Pale Oak. Again, you've likely heard of that color. It's a gorgeous timeless neutral. It's a taupe, and there are a lot of quartz countertops that have taupe tones in them, and a lot of quartzite. I'm working with a client right now. She's got this beautiful quartz with a taupe vein. Pale oak is perfect for her cabinets. It's really warm. It's got an LRV of 68, so it's a little bit darker than some of the beiges that I just showed you, but it's still plenty light. You're not gonna feel like it's too dark. It's timeless. If you've got taupe tones in your stone, it is absolutely one to sample. This seems to be a step that not a lot of people want to do. I'm very confused by this because you absolutely have to do this if you're going to nail it in terms of getting the right neutral for the countertop and the backsplash that you chose. So let's talk about that. Now, obviously, if you are renovating an existing kitchen and keeping your countertop and your backsplash, you have a much easier job in terms of picking a paint color. Let me show you what you would do in that case. So you're gonna take the paint color that you are thinking about. You want a white background, always. So you're gonna take the paint color you're thinking about. Oh, I don't know if my camera angle is gonna show you this. Let me adjust. Okay. You're gonna take the paint color that you're thinking about. You're gonna put it right here, right under your countertop, because that's where it would be. Don't lay it down flat and try to take a photo. Now, I'm working with a leathered black granite. Obviously, that's gonna go with pretty much everything. Most of you are not. Most of you are working with different quartz, quartzite, marble, whatever. This is what you would do, okay? Then you're gonna step back. You might even wanna turn off all your lights, have someone take a picture in natural light so you can kind of analyze, does this work? Same thing with your backsplash. You're gonna wanna put it up against your backsplash like cabinets would be, behind a white poster, white piece of paper, to see how it works with your elements. Now, if you are planning a new build or a complete renovation gut job where you're ripping everything out, obviously you don't have the luxury of having your fixed elements in place. So You can go to the slab yard, you can lay eyes on your stone. That's really what you need to do. A lot of these stones vary so much. I have even seen, you know, for example, Taj Mahal, I was trying to help someone pick a paint color the other day to work with that stone. What you see online is very different than a lot of the options that people have in their homes. It's because that stone varies so much, and a lot of them do that. So you really need to lay eyes on your stone. You need to bring your paint samples with you to the slab yard. Now, these are not ideal conditions because the slab yard is under those heavy fluorescent lights, but you've got to do something. So bring those large scale samples to the slab yard. If you're not sure what undertone family you need to be in, you probably need to order a paint color from every single neutral family so you can see which one relates better. Once you have decided which neutral family it relates best to, then you can kind of play in that family and see, oh, do I want something lighter or darker? However, you will take those large scale samples behind a white poster board, hold it up next to the slab. You're not going to be able to obviously have the slab horizontal like it would in your kitchen, but you've got to do something to make sure that the color relates to it. Now, some of these companies will have large samples that you can order online like this. That is great to get a good read. However, you do need to take that with a grain of salt because, again, some of these slabs are just very different. You really need to go to the slab yard and choose the stone that way. Now, your backsplash is also very important. That's really what you see most of visually when you're in a kitchen. Like I showed in that example photo of, well, I don't know where I'm gonna slice this in the video, so you might not see that yet. Anyway, you cannot pair a lot of these warmer tones, these warmer beiges and grays with stark white or the wrong neutral. I see that a lot. I see taupe subway tile paired with beige cabinets. That's a big no. You really got to stick to the same neutral family. So that's why it's so important to order samples. It's much easier to work with tile samples, backsplash samples, because you don't have to go to a slab yard. You can order those. You can bring a good bit back with you. If you're doing a lot of these backsplashes have varied tones throughout. Make sure you get at least like 10 different tiles so that you can really get a good read for what the overall read is going to be of your backsplash tile. But anyway, backsplash and countertops, very important in terms of making sure that they work with the neutral cabinet color that you've selected. If this is really a struggle for you, I do offer consultation services, and you can take a look at those at the link below in the description. I have moved locations to talk about this gorgeous color behind me. It's Benjamin Moore Britannia Blue. I have received so many questions about this color. I'm also starting to get a lot of people ask for dark blue, chalky, slatey paint colors in my consultation business. So I think that these darker blues are trending. I think they're gonna be big this year. I think they're gonna be big next year and the years to come. This gorgeous color is dark. It has an LRV of 19 or 18, one of those. It's so stunning. Now, I have color drenched my walls in this. It is dark. You do need a good bit of natural light to pull it off, or a lot of lamps. That's what I do. I cheat with a lot of lamps. I think it would be stunning on cabinetry. It's stunning on islands. You can even pair it with some of the grayish tones that I mentioned, or beige tones, depending on what your fixed elements are. If you are looking for that perfect dark blue that's got that slate chalky look to it, this is the color for you. Now, if you want something that's not quite as dark as this, Sherwin-Williams Dockside Blue is a stunning color. Look how gorgeous it is in this kitchen, especially when paired with those timeless black and white elements. It's got an LRV of 43, so it's like twice the light as Britannia Blue, which is behind me. It's got that gray undertone, and a lot of trending blue colors right now have that gray undertone. You can't go wrong with this choice. Dutch Tile Blue by Sherwin-Williams is another gorgeous color that I would highly recommend for cabinetry. Again, it's got a little bit of that gray undertone to it, but it's from their historical collection, so This is just, if you are looking for timeless colors and you really don't know where to start, Benjamin Moore and Sherwin-Williams both have their historical collection. These are gorgeous colors. You really can't go wrong with any of these colors. This is from their historical collection, and one that I like to recommend because it's very unique. It's got maybe just a hint of green. Not too much, but a hint of green and a lot of gray, and just that perfect muted blue color. Moving on to greens. I don't have any green in my house. I have some green accessories, so I can't really change locations. However, green is majorly trending, and it's these muted sage green tones that we're really seeing a lot of. I'm recommending them a lot for exteriors, for things like shutters and front doors. They're also being recommended a lot for interiors. This is Benjamin Moore October Mist. It's got an LRV of 43, so it's that good medium tone. It's got a gray undertone, which most sages do. It doesn't have too much yellow, which sometimes you want to stay away from, especially with some of the fixed elements that you might choose in your kitchen. This is by Jenna Sue Design. She does not make a bad, I mean, everything she does is absolutely gorgeous. If you are looking for home decor inspiration, she is absolutely one to follow. They renovate homes, it seems like at the speed of light, but she's got great ideas. Now, you'll notice a lot of greens right now because those warm brown tones are trending. I mean, they're timeless. Those terracotta tones are trending. Things are warming up. This sage green pairs perfectly with those terracottas that we're loving right now. So this is the perfect sage to try out. Benjamin Moore oilcloth is, oh, it's a stunning color. A lot of people love that Pharaoh Ball pigeon color, which designers just love to use. And it's so frustrating because unless you want to pay a gazillion dollars a gallon, there really isn't a good match in terms of Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore. However, oilcloth comes very close. It's like this perfect sagey tone, doesn't really have any yellow. It's a little bit, let me check the LRV. It's 35, the LRV is 35. So it's a little bit darker than the color that I just showed you, but it is really pretty. It's got maybe just like the slightest hint of blue too, which is why people like that Pharaoh and Ball pigeon color, because it's a little bit of a chameleon. It is really stunning, and I love how they paired it with these black countertops. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. So that wraps up my list of non-white cabinet colors. I thought I did have another green for you guys, but I don't. However, the two that I gave you are so stunning. You really need to try those. Anyways, I hope you learned something. I hope you found a non-white cabinet color. Now again, before I get any cabinet comments, not cabinets, comments, white, off-white cabinets, always a timeless decision. If you're feeling like if you paint your walls or cabinets blue, you might eventually get tired of those, go with white. Decorate, you can change up your decor. There's nothing wrong with white cabinets, but if you're feeling like you want to warm things up or be bold, try a color from this list. Thank you for watching.